potential to go very far in this 1v1 tournament. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Howling Abyss. It's Marin versus Clearlove.
Oh, this is disgusting from Clearlove already. I like it. We were saying, you know, with the cheese picks coming out of the jungler, even running Spirit Fire brand as well. The best brand skin, I feel, since it got released. But Corrupting Potion as well. Everything about this build seems to be all about the tick damage. You hit them with one ability. The burn from Brand's passive already 2% of your max health every second for 4 seconds, up to 8%. Plus you add Corrupting Potion. Plus you add Deathfire Touch. Oh, this just makes my skin crawl even thinking about how hard it's going to hit with the first Pillar of Flame.
Well, you know, if there's anything I learned from playing Pokemon, fire is usually pretty strong against ice. And we're just going to go ahead and see what Clearlove's able to pull off. But Marin, you know, he didn't get that MVP for nothing. He's playing an actual top lane champion.
Ooh, sidestep already out of Marin. Dancing shoes are on. The other key thing here is we're on Howling Abyss, but wards are actually enabled from the trinket slot. It's really important to get that first ward down into the bush. You can see that it's already been established by Clearlove, but the response here out of Marin with Lissandra, he's just been queuing the wave. Clearlove's been trying to land the Pillar of Flame, and the experience difference between the two champions early on is going to potentially punish Clearlove, but Marin is taking a few pillars here, and it is starting to chunk through his health.
It is. However, as you mentioned, there is that CS differential going for Marin right now. It's very, very slight, but of course, that is one of your win conditions, getting first to 100. He's already healed back up. Post is coming in handy early, but he does take a little bit more damage. The Ice Claw comes out. Clearlove's just out of range, though, and he's dodging away from it.
Oh, Marin also just judging the tower distance as well, making sure he didn't get hit. Another key thing for anybody that, you know, this is their first time watching a 1 versus 1. Marin is actually in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, there's that pillar again, and he's got to be very careful here. Clearlove does not take nearly as much in return, a bit lower on the mana scale, but he's very low on the CS.
And that is actually all of Marin's potions used here as well. So Marin, even though he now has a level advantage, cannot really trade with Clearlove. Recall is enabled. And the other really key thing as minions push up to a tower, Marin gets hit and stunned!
Ignite! Exhaust is down, he's gonna try to claw his way to freedom, but he's burning!
He's done it!
First blood, 2.5 minutes!
Oh, Clearlove, I doubted you! As they spawn.
Alright, well we are once again on the Abyss, the Murder Bridge, and so far it's been true to its name. 1 kill has been claimed. Will there be another? Will we go to CS? Kira's gonna fire that Peacemaker. It's silenced up for just a second, but Dyrus is already losing the trade in an instant recall out of Kira.
All about the map control for Kira. He sets up that ward straight away. He's able to judge exactly the distance on the Peacemaker. It's actually quite impressive how Kira was able to dominate the competition. As I was saying, watch for the health pack spawns around that 2:30 mark. He'll just get himself onto the actual health relic and force his opponent away.
Now, by the way, you were talking about the 80 Malzahar pick and how a little early on it can do a lot of damage. This isn't the way Dyrus is going. He's built himself a Doran's Ring, and he's going to be going the much more traditional AP path. Now, let's see if it works out. He does have that Q available. The silence doesn't do a ton to Caitlyn, but Kira is abusing the ability on his passive to get more headshot stacks in the brush.
Yes, and again, this is another thing that we saw Kira consistently do, is utilize the brush, make sure he's stacking up that passive very quickly. I'm interested now to see whether Dyrus tries somehow to shove Kira in later on in this matchup, because Dyrus has already lost the pushing game. There you can see the first Voidling of the game dies to Kira very quickly. Dyrus could be in trouble here as Kira is about to hit level 2 off that front minion. Will he go aggressive? Will be able to just chunk Dyrus down from the brush.
Those headshots are starting to sting. He has been hitting the Call of the Voids though, and now he's back up to level 2 himself. But Kira is just staying so safe on the superior range of this Caitlyn. He's relying on it, and it's not really being punished.
No, well, I mean, it's very difficult to punish at this point. The only way that Kira gets punished is if he's standing in his minion line when the Malefic Visions actually just spreads throughout the wave. So unless Kira somehow makes a mistake on that, I don't think he's going to get punished too hard in these early levels, just from the sheer range difference.
Yeah, it's just so hard for Dyrus to be able to combat this, and you can see the CS differential is still creeping up there. The Malefic Visions are chugging away on that cannon minion, but since it doesn't go down, it's not going to spread level difference. Kira just keeps stepping forward.
And look at him force Dyrus away from the health relic. Kira is fine to trade. He sits on the relic. He has Grasp of the Undying as well. That's one key thing that he always runs on these AD carries. He just constantly ticks the timer up on the minions and then auto-attacks the enemy champion because he has that massive range. And any damage that he takes just gets traded straight back with the health that comes to it.
Yeah, so even if Dyrus is able to land a little bit of damage on him, it just goes right back to it. Does get a nice Q between the minion waves. Kira's still able to chunk him out though. But Dyrus actually has a level advantage here for just a moment. We'll see if he goes a little farther forward with it. The Grasp of the Undying's flying back and forth, but I feel like Kira is able to just come a little bit further ahead on it. And then not only his main mastery here, but he's got that lifesteal on the Doran's plate.
But it's so difficult right now for Dyrus to do anything. His health relic isn't up yet, and it's not due up for another good few seconds here. It's another about 15 to 20 seconds before it's due up. I believe it's 75 seconds on the map, so
Kira
it's actually
it.
3:45 it's due up. You can see Kira shoving it in. He knows that the minion wave is coming. He has to shove this in the next 10 seconds and force Dyrus back, because then there's no way for Dyrus to do anything. He forces the recall and is going to get turret damage out pretty safely here, as Dyrus has to get away.
Well, he's not going to back just yet. He's got his Voidling available, but he's running out of minions fast. Kira steps up, gets the health relic. Yes, he burns it away on a shot from the tower, but Dyrus is just zoned out of this farm. It is 30 to 16, and he is not looking too healthy. The Voidling's going to go down. Kira's still just trying to keep the minions within tower range so he can just keep on firing it down, and Dyrus has got nothing to do. And
this is the kind of situation that a big timer goes on to Dyrus now. He has to all-in Kira before he gets to 100 CS. There's a lot of time left here, and we'll see what Dyrus actually manages to pick up when he goes back, but Kira is going to win this at 100 CS. There is almost no way for Dyrus, without a massive all-in, using the Ignite, using that barrier, and getting the ultimate down, for Dyrus actually to come back into this CS game. Caitlyn is just too punishing when it comes to having a lead on CS.
This is exactly what he's got to do. If he can ding 6 in time, he's going to get back to lane before Kira can. If he can manage to get up to that, land the Nether Grasp, finish the channel, and go Ignite, it's the only chance he's got, because otherwise Kira's just going to net away and keep kiting.
And the key thing is that, you know, people are saying, oh, just build damage, that's all you need, you're an 80 carry, you'll win the trades, it's great. Kira knows he doesn't need it. He's got a Doran shield, he's got himself a null magic. All he needs to do is not die in this matchup, and he wins this game. And that is what made him so difficult to deal with in IWCA, because nobody seemed to ban both of the 80 carries away from him, and Kira would just play for the late game, and if you made a mistake, he'd punish you before.
Now Dyrus did manage to get his other health relic there. He is going to land the Q. He does get Malefic Visions on, but more CS traded over to Kira, and that's an ace in the hole. Dyrus takes a little bit more, throws down the null zone as well, and he's not 6 yet. He can't get the Nether Grasp. He does get some serious damage, and Kira's got to be careful playing with fire there against the Team Fire top laner.
Yeah, that was messy out of Kira. Dyrus actually just getting a lot of free damage off.
He's
he
got
has
6.
to be careful.
He's
Dyrus, as long as he doesn't go into the turret.
He's exhausted. Oh, this could be dangerous, though. Kira steps forward. Dyrus is in the bush. He's heading straight for a trap, but he sidesteps it. Headshots are flying, though, and he has to back away.
Yeah, he has to back away. Dyrus even used his ultimate in that engage, and Kira was just able to get himself basically taking no damage during the entire thing, and that means that Kira is just able to consistently farm this up. Dyrus now has to rethink his strategy.
Oh no, he's on the trap.
Oh, the trap.
Headshots, vision, Kira just keeps trading back, and he gets the health back. On that last trade, too, Dyrus, he canceled his ultimate. It really was an inopportune moment for him, but he had the chance, he just didn't quite get it. Now Kira's just going to keep on stacking the CS, 54 to 31. Dyrus is staying alive, but this game could be over.
This game is pretty difficult for Dyrus.
Goes for the net, picks it up. Dyrus just can't get there in time, and he takes a Peacemaker to the back of the head.
Again, it's just all about control over those relics. No potions for Dyrus, there's potions for Kira, so all he has to do, take the relic, chug a pot. The actual effective health he gains from that, it just outweighs everything Dyrus can throw at him. The one thing to keep in mind, Exhaust is on cooldown for Kira. Dyrus has his Ignite, has his Barrier, and the ultimate is going to be up before Exhaust is available once again. So Kira has to respect that, because Dyrus can look to go for an all-in. It just is going to have to be a very well-placed all-in, because he's going to need probably a little bit of help from minions as well in order to take down Kira.
Kira's going to back here. He's got almost no mana. He's standing on the Hell Shrine, but Dyrus is going straight for him. Throws down the Null Sphere to stop that, and takes a little bit of minion damage, but he might look to go all in here. No, has to back away. A lot of damage from the Caitlyn.
Yeah, it's because he doesn't have his ultimate. If Dyrus had his ult, I think he may have gone all in there, although he will pretty much need his full rotation to be able to do that.
Try.
See,
Not
the
quite.
Boiling is starting to charge up, but he's losing a lot of the potency as it's attacking the minions. It is, it's a decent trade, but remember, Kira's got the pots. Kira's just going to sustain up here. Ooh,
takes a lot of damage there. However, Dyrus still wants to trade back. He's going to throw down the barrier. Kira wants to try and push him further back, but Dyrus has got his ultimate up and available. Ace in the hole. Barrier is also popped on him. if he decides to go for it.
All of this is Kira buying time for his exhaust. That's really everything that Kira is doing here, is just throwing as much at Dyrus to force him not to engage. And as soon as that exhaust is back up, Kira knows that the game is done.
It's really just like a game of chess at this point. Dyrus, unfortunately, doesn't have as many winning moves.
The other thing here is Kira can recall very freely. The CS lead he has built up here, 72-47, means that Kira is never going to miss more than a wave and a half. He backs away, still maintains the lead, gets his Hex Drinker now, and is able to survive any kind of all-in that Dyrus should throw at him. And you can see now Dyrus has only just gone up to 50, and the turret is going to take damage, but it is not going to be enough to take the turret down. Of course, remember, 100 CS, turret kill, or first blood will win you a 1 versus 1.
Kira is intent on winning as much of it as he can. The reigning champion from the IWCA 1v1 tournament. Dyrus will go back and get himself a health pot to try and compete, but Kira's exhaust is almost back up. This is a dangerous moment for Dyrus.
It is, and you know, I'm actually wondering what Kira has for the rest of the tournament here as well, because he got one of the picks he was just proficient at anyway. And Kira does take a damage.
That's a big one. Ignites down. Nether Grasp is going. Dyrus is going all for it. Can he eliminate the All-Star champion? The Hex Drinker shield is on. Dyrus is out of mana and out of options. He's got to back away.
Whew, Kira playing that a little bit greedy. Couldn't get the exhaust off to begin, but he knows that Dyrus doesn't have the damage right now, and that may very well have been Dyrus' last hurrah in this 1 versus 1 tournament, because up to 87 CS now is Kira. It means all he's got to do is get 2 waves and 1 more creep, and that will be the end of the game. Dyrus actually may just lose. No, the minions, there's not enough minions there for him to take the turret down here. So Kira, does he recall away and just take the safe victory on this after taking his health relic? Okay, yeah, he does.
He's going to let the wave bounce its way into the turret. Dyrus will pick up a decent chunk of this, but he is just so far behind. Kira needs 6 minions to seal the deal here. Makes that Hex Drinker. It is so hard for Dyrus to try and all-in him. That attempt just wasn't enough.
1 wave to win, which means Dyrus has to go all-in on this next minion wave. There is no real option for Dyrus to win this unless he can somehow kill Kira with no summoners for both of them. Dyrus has to go here.
He's trying to keep him off the wave of minions. He does throw a lot of damage, and Dyrus is dancing just outside of the turret range, but the trap is down. Dyrus narrowly avoids it, takes a Peacemaker, takes a shot from the 90 caliber net, but Kira's got a headshot loaded, and he keeps firing, gets another CS, ace in the hole to Dyrus. There's the null zone, but Dyrus is so low here. How long can he afford to zone him out? Kira's having a couple of bad dreams, but Dyrus, he might be done dreaming for this 1v1 tournament. 4 more CS is all Kira needs. Jukes the Peacemaker, nets away. Dyrus takes even more damage on the backside of it, but he's still trying to hold strong. Unfortunately, the Boiling Smoke right in. Dyrus is so low here. 1 level down, the Malefic Vision still burning through.
All Kira's got to do, 4 minions, 1 more auto could do it.
Dyrus can't get out of the brush there. He's trying to get away, but there's the headshot. He wants to finish it in style. Not enough damage. Dyrus hangs on by a thread, but that is going to be the Nether Grasp. But that's it. Poros go flying. First blood and another.
Take the puns back in exchange for our EU players. I'm completely fine on leaving the puns in North America.
Yeah, but they're a dime a dozen. What isn't right now is going to be Bjergsen's Axis spinning away. Smurf goes ahead and throws down the ward early on. Both of them rocking identical builds. Some Biscuits and the Doran's Blade. No surprise there with the pair of 80 carries.
But I wonder if anybody's running Grasp of the Undying in this situation, or whether they're running the Fervor Mastery. This is 523 that we are playing on as well, so it hasn't been changed yet.
It's a real crowd pleaser, Bjergsen is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's fair to say. I mean, Draven is always a crowd pleaser, mainly because he actually imagines the crowd are chanting his name. So he always pleases a crowd, regardless of whether there even is one.
Well, there's always somebody watching. That's definitely the case. Starting off, Bjergsen will be hitting up those minions as Smurf steps a little bit outside the range of the axes, but Bjergsen's going forward, gets one, does have Grasp of the Undying, and he gets a first take of it already.
Actually.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
You can actually see Grasp of the Undying when it's active by the kind of blue, ghostly, wispy indicator.
We'll talk about that in a minute. We still got the axes spinning. Smurf's trying to heal back up. Bjergsen just keeps on taking the shots as he goes forward very low to start this game off.
No summoners traded, both running Exhaust Ignite, but the CS lead is in favor of Bjergsen and that effective health lead as well. Bjergsen only just taken his potion, so Bjergsen has to be careful he doesn't take too much
Stand
minion
aside.
damage.
Smurf's got to be careful right now, but he does take a lot of damage. Ignite's on. Exhaust. This one's going to be over quick. And it's first blood. Bjergsen takes the win for Team Fire.
And that was real.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time he's done something like that. However, he's going to stay frosty as we take to the Howling Abyss. Prey on Callista this time around. He's got one extra item, but he's got no money to stick it to.
Yeah, he's just gonna put it there
sad
as on
Callista right now.
display, just like as a medal. It's like, this is what I'm gonna use to kill you with. But, you know, at this point, you can see exactly how confident Prey is in this matchup as well, because no Ignite. Prey knows that the Ren damage is just gonna do too much to Huni, plus the barrier will keep Prey alive. So in any of these early trades, if it goes all in, Prey should theoretically win this. Just pop the barrier in exchange for the Ignite, and he should be fine.
Huni's going to take a forward position here in this brush and hope to catch Prey with a straight cube, but Prey's sticking behind the minion line just barely, so Huni's not going to have a chance to do it.
It's all he's got to do.
There we go. Auto attack. There we go.
Yeah, but he trades back against Callista.
Yeah.
I mean, Prey, you know, could easily just look to Rend at level 2 here if he can just continue building the stacks, but there will be a lot of time. Oh, actually takes Rend at level 1 in this situation. I do like that, just in case you end up kind of face checking into each other. And you can see Prey just taking the advantage already. Ezreal is such a difficult pick to make work on this match, especially against the Callista, because Prey is just going to dodge around every Mystic shot.
To be fair, I didn't know Prey was going to pick Callista, but at the same time, it's so hard to land the skill shots. It's so hard to be able to trade effectively. It's so hard to farm. Huni has just got so many things going against him this time around, and Prey just keeps behind the minions, has himself not too much of a CS advantage, but he does have a health bar one, and Huni will be able to land a Mystic shot.
Yeah, he will, but it's, you know, trade it back. It's one of these situations I'm like, I really don't know.
Oh, Ignite, that's early. Huni's going all in. There's the barrier, there's the exhaust. Huni's exhausted as well, and he's just going to keep going for it. The minions keep attacking. That's it. Prey takes it. GG at 2 minutes.
I mean, there's the
is a name that carries a lot of respect, as we heard Demonko saying, and he'll get a chance to play mirror against him. He can take him down. That's a big start for Team Ice.
It will be a big start. I wonder whether they're both running the same keystone. I would imagine Demonko is going to be running Grasp of the Undying. Demonko actually showing just how important getting bush control is to start this. Madlife now is forced around the outside. He knows he has to respect Demonko. And at this point, means that he isn't able to establish the first set of hits on the wave. So Demonko will get the first push on. Does Madlife trade back, or does he try and trade into Demonko as Demonko hits the wave? That's the question.
Well, that's going to be riding on this early level 1. When you have these mirror matchups, it really just comes down to execution. And now there's a little bit more experience for the CIS All-Stars on the 1v1 map so far, but Demonko reveals early. It's a tap on the minion, but Madlife now is able to push forward. It's the piercing light first on him.
Yeah, but Demonko's trading it back onto the wave, so that's the thing to look for. It's all about level 2. It actually doesn't matter if you get the CS as much right now as it is to just get level 2. Just rush to that level 2 point. You can see he's a whole minion up on this wave. So what it means is Madlife, yes, he will be able to trade it back effectively because there is no second wave to push it forward. But Madlife will hit that level 2 just a little behind Demonko, but he's taken a lot of damage for it as Demonko.
Yep, there's that level 2. Madlife just needs one more.
He dropped vision,
but he didn't quite get it as Madlife got his way into the bush, synchronizes it up. He's got the Relentless Pursuit. He's got the double tap, but Demonko's trading back. Piercing Light flying back and forth. And at the end of the day, it's still tied.
It is just about even. Demonko a little bit ahead in that kind of situation. Madlife a little lower on mana. Demonko has a little more health, but does trade it away with that Piercing Light. Also interesting, I believe when the CIS region were playing, if they're still playing Takira's rules, I think Demonko takes a little bit of mana regen runes as well in this situation. So it'll be interesting to see whether the mana gets punished here, because you can see just how low Madlife is getting here. Demonko is able to trade the damage pretty effectively, but neither of them has used their potion yet.
Now, hanging onto that one just in case they need it. There's the Hell Shrine. It's going to spawn. Madlife is just going to have to settle for a shot in the dark as Demonko now takes a Piercing Light as well, but he's still healthier than Madlife, and he's got more mana to boot.
Yeah, he does, and you can see the Grasp of the Undying still active for both of them. The indicator on the hands there looks a bit like an airbender. But at this point, Madlife is so far... I know, right? That's the first thing I thought.
I didn't notice it till you said it, but we'll just have to wait. Madlife's taken a lot of shots here. And Demonko now finds himself a bit lower on the mana scale, but as you mentioned, he probably does have that extra mana regen to just keep it going a little bit more on this Lucian.
And at this point, Demonko is fine being 2 CS down in this matchup just because of the pressure he has on Mad Life. He can go aggressive and force the trade, just as long as he's able to stay ahead in health right now, because 2-3 CS is fine. It's when you start getting a wave, 2 waves, 3 waves ahead that it becomes unmanageable.
Demonko's a lot healthier right now. He can just push these low health minions in. He's going to Relentless Pursuit, jump forward, gets that heal back from the Grasp of the Undying. Mad Life is almost out of mana. He's zoned backwards. Demonko may be as well, but it's not going to matter as much because he's got the positional advantage.
Yeah, he does right now. Demonko's mana regen is not actually that much. I would love to see his runes, just to see exactly what he's running.
Clutch health.
Mad Life will be able to get the health shrine. Remember, 75 seconds is the respawn timer on those. Demonko not quite as good as his teammate Kira at actually pressuring that out. I'm a little surprised that they didn't put a bit more focus into the 1v1s, which sounds silly, but
put it all on Kira, man.
Yeah, but just put it
still playing all right here. Now, Mad Life is going to get a Grasp of the Undying proc, but Demonko will be able to heal up on the health shrine of his own. So far, it really has been this full mirror. Mad Life CSing just a little bit better, but both of these AD carries now having spent their biscuits, daring each other to back away if they can get just a good trade.
And this is a bit of almost a preview for later, when we actually have LCK taking on IWCA. So I'm interested to see how that matchup goes. It won't be 2 Lucians later, but it will, however, be Demonko versus Mad Life. So this one is for the bragging rights going into that matchup. Oh, Demonko is just not quite trading efficiently because Mad Life is dipping into the brushes every single time Demonko actually dashes forward.
Yeah, brush control very, very important here. And Mad Life knows how to use it. Demonko a little bit lower, but he does manage to get the Grasp of the Undying proc. Ooh. Now he's the one who's zoned into the tower. Mad Life's starting to push forward, and he's got a serious CS advantage here.
Yeah.
Well, now down to 7 or 6 minions, but still, Demonko can't quite get the shot. But Mad Life keeps stepping in the brush.
It's still a whole wave, and Demonko's trying to... He's not actually recalling, but he's just trying to bait Mad Life to come forward, try and trade damage while the cannon minion is there, so the minion re-aggroes onto Mad Life, but it's not really going to work. I don't think Mad Life's going to fall for that. Honestly, this is starting to get to that kind of CS lead where Mad Life has a significant advantage now. Demonko, even though he had the health advantage earlier on in this match, wasn't able to convert it into a CS lead just from how efficiently Mad Life was ducking into the brush.
Yeah, now there's the calling out. Mad Life's just going all forward. He wants to push these in. Demonko's going to shoot his own ray of bullets, and they almost miss each other completely. It's like I'm watching The Matrix.
But look at this Demonko. The last hitting under the turret just isn't there. It's different from Summoner's Rift, remember, where, you know, normally it's 2 hits onto a melee and 1 last hit from a champion to knock it off from the tower. But Demonko will go aggressive, land a little bit of damage, but I think he actually probably should have just recalled. If he's looking to recall at all, he should have done it then and let Mad Life back away because the whole wave wasn't there in time. Now Demonko is forced onto the back foot. Mad Life will shove this into the tower. Demonko is going to have to stay here to make sure he cleans the wave up.
Mad Life just continues to keep the farm advantage going. It's still very slight, but when you're first to 100, it's going to make all the difference. Trying to zone Demonko off of these last couple of minions, or at least just until they get into the tower range. Mad Life's on 62 to the 52 of Demonko, and he's heading for the tower.
Yeah, this looks like a Mad Life, well, being well in control of this situation for now. I don't think Demonko is going to be able to turn this one without somehow getting significant damage down onto Mad Life, then pushing the wave into Mad Life's turret and somehow getting back in time. That's a tough ask, though.
Neither support has gone for the all-in, playing very cautiously. However, Mad Life now has to contend with the ward that's in the brush. If Demonko can step forward, he can start punishing him again because he can't dip in and get the vision denial anymore. Unfortunately for Demonko, Mad Life just has that CS advantage. Double taps coming in, but still, it's not going to trade that much. There's the exhaust down. Finally spending summoner spells here. Double exhaust down. Mad Life getting low, but so is Demonko as he stepped forward into the minions.
It was starting to look good for Demonko.
Mad Life. He's got ignited down, and there is a calling out, but it wasn't used by Mad Life. Just a little low on the mana.
Demonko needs to recall now, and he actually has the advantage when these two get back into lane. Mad Life needed to try and stop that recall because the ignite being available means that Demonko goes back, picks himself up extra. Damage is what he needs right now. It will not be enough to go tanky. He needs damage with that ignite to kill Mad Life the next time these two trade. He's opted for a Doran's Shield and the Serrated Dirk at this situation, and a cloth armor. I Demonko, you can't win this one on farming alone. You are 19 CS behind. You have to go all in with this Ignite. Madlife, if he just goes flat damage, oh my goodness, that is flat damage.
I don't think he's got enough swords there, Stress.
BF sword into double Dorans, into double longsword. So
and a biscuit, just in case he gets hungry.
Yeah, one for the road. But Madlife actually could have just gone tank and won this game on CS. That's just how it is.
I mean, he's just going to have fun this way. He's got so much damage here. Demonko's going to go forward. He's got his Ignite. He knows this is his chance. He's going to send out everything he's got, but the culling only half hits. Madlife steps forward, dashes his way back. Demonko wins the trade, but there's still a CS differential to contend with.
In this situation, Demonko going tank actually isn't the worst right now because he can output more damage. He can output a fair amount of damage onto Madlife because Madlife has no resistances here, or at least no extra armor.
Dashing forward, he's got the Ignite spent. Now it's all even, and Madlife can get back to his health. Wait, he can't because Demonko is right there. Madlife, he's got to back away now, and that's going to give Demonko a chance to shove in the wave and take even more minions. But wait, Madlife's not going.
But this is so good for Demonko because the fact that Madlife didn't try and go for the 100 CS win when he was so close means that Madlife now has to stick around to keep this CS lead and now risk Demonko going all in.
Yeah, gets another grasp of the Undying proc. Madlife just trying to get a little bit of farm on the back half of it, but still, he has a CS lead, but the gap is starting to close. Demonko continuing to force him away from this. The biscuit's been popped. Demonko already ate his, but Madlife's a lot lower on health.
I feel like BF Sword, as good an item as it normally is for a bit of a damage spike on Summoner's Rift.
Not enough.
I actually feel like if he had just gone Giant's Belt here, Madlife would have been okay.
It's a good trade, but Demonko is going to have his back pretty soon. He's got to be careful not to get wiped before. Madlife is smelling blood in the water, and he tries to go for it. Now it's Demonko that's turned away, and there's 6 CS to go before Madlife can lock this game up. There is going to be only 4 available on the field. Even if he gets the perfect here, he's got to be careful, but Demonko, clock is ticking. He's got to shut him down. Goes for the all-in, but he's that much lower. Madlife ducking and diving and dodging, but it's not enough. Madlife will
see how like Team Mon into the LCS.
Uh-oh, crab people. Here we go. On to the Howling Abyss. And another Callista comes out, this time in the hands of Rookie. He's got the barrier to Meteos' Exhaust, which would be coming a little more in handy, I would think, against the Callista. Stop that hopping.
But all you saw earlier in the matchup that we saw, I believe it was Prey against Huni, where, you know, Prey just held the exhaust and outlasted all of the damage that came from Huni and then just ran it. So all you got to do with the exhaust against, when you're playing Callista against an exhaust, is just outlast the exhaust and rend after. As long as you don't die during the exhaust, you're fine.
Well, I feel like this is just a very defensive move, too, if Rookie does decide to go all in and try to stack up those spears so he can get a big rend for the finisher. But Meteos should be able to poke him out if he can land the lock-on. So far, it's just going to be a bit of a farm fest, but there's a quick rend, and Meteos takes a little bit of damage.
Yeah, only a little bit right now. If Meteos gets the auto attack, he's like, my passive's active. Got this.
There you go.
Got it. Win
taking a little bit more damage, though, too.
Yeah, I wonder what Meteos is actually going to do. Is he going to go towards the actual tank build, is what I assume? Oh, that's a fair amount of damage. He's got to respect the red.
He's really taking a lot early. The barrier's on. I don't think he's going to win this level 1. The spears were just enough, and Rookie will finish it in a minute and a half.
Barrier
is a very, very powerful tool in this 1v1 as we load up once again for the 7th time today onto the Howling Abyss. West Door on LeBlanc. Team Fire representing, taking on the Kindred of Lex.
I really wanted to see Doran's Blade LeBlanc. This is something that, you know, we were talking about.
You want AD on everything.
Just go AD to begin the game. It's so strong.
Oh, going in. There we go. Very quick wolf
Look
sprint.
at that trade.
Look
at that disgusting trade.
Oh, and the manner spam. He's a happy camper.
Ugh. It's disgusting. I mean, it's not like AD would have done too much more for West Door in that situation. He would have a little bit more damage that Lex just would have gone straight back, so it's not that big of a difference, but still, Lex is going to have an insane amount of damage in this early game.
Yeah. And he's showing why he didn't take the Ignite either. He really just doesn't need it to dish out a whole lot. He can just wait for West Door to go for the all-in and just outfight him in the zone. West Door's back. Clears away the ward, though.
West Door's picked up the sweeper. He's like, no, you don't get map control. You are never having map control at this point. So, good on you, West Door. Changing the meta.
Vision denial.
Yeah,
what he's all about. Lex is going to go jump for him, though. Force him back away from the minions.
You know, the other thing that makes Kindred really strong on 1 versus 1. Not only is it just her kit and how good it is, just outputting damage early, and the ultimate that keeps you alive. Keep in mind, with Grasp of the Undying, plus the E ability that is going to come from Lex, that third proc, where you get health back, plus you have Grasp of the Undying, you get health back. Everything around Lex's kit is about getting health back and dealing a lot of damage in return. So the masteries play into Lex's favor as well.
Wester's definitely going to have his work cut out for him here. He's got some juicy farm that he's trying to pick up, but there is a lead already for the CIS AD carry. He's going to back off, give Westor a little bit of room to start working this one. Level 2s all around, but Lex should be able to counter-engage anytime he wants. A little bit more damage, does trade back, and he steps out of the Wolf's Frenzy. That was actually a good trade for the door.
Yeah, that was a good trade. That was a really good trade, and Lex was taking damage from the cannon minion there as well, so even at the end of that little trade, Lex was still taking damage. And that puts Westor a fair amount ahead. Lex, his health has spawned isn't going to go for it.
He might need to now, though. Another good trade for Westor, as he's just able to jump out of the Wolf's Frenzy just outside the zone. Lex could not return fire onto him as effectively, but he will be all right. Not munching the biscuit, but he's getting the health back, as Westor has to do that himself.
Yeah, very difficult for Lex, actually, to read Westor's aggression attempts using distortion just get himself in. So Lex has to be careful, but Westor cannot really step inside that zone. Ooh, gets the passive.
Yeah, Lex definitely took the good trade there, and he has a slight level advantage. Westor needs just a few more ticks on the experience bar to be able to match that one, but for the moment, Lex has the advantage.
Yeah, Lex has, well, both of them both have summoners up, but health potion still on for Lex. Everything is about the sustain game. 22 CS up to, against 16 right now. There are a few minions extra in that wave for Westor as it pushes in, and Westor does manage to get that first one. These back minions are pretty easy to get. It's just one tower hit, one auto attack.
Lex is controlling this health shrine, though, and he manages to pick that up right as it respawns. 3.5 minutes into this game here. Westor has evened up the level game, but he's still behind in the CS department. It just goes up. I completely missed that. I thought it went up earlier. 75,
so you're looking at 230 and then 345.
I was reading the Grasp of the Undying. Funny enough, they look a little similar when it goes back to you.
A little bit.
I got you. Right. That's what happened right there. Strap.
Yeah, you did.
So Malice jumping in, a little bit more damage. Not too much, though.
Not too much, but you can see Westor is trying to just stay up, keep the CS as close as he can right now. Lex is focused just on getting to that 100 mark. No real way right now for Westor to do too much. When he hits 6, may decide to go all in, or at least throw out like a double distortion onto Lex. See if he can land the chains. That really is going to be what is the indicator for Westor to see whether he can actually go aggressive, is if one of those chains lands. But Westor back to farming under tower.
It's pretty much what he's been having to do since the start of this game, but we definitely could be in for a longer one if Lex sticks to that CS strategy. He has the advantage of about 6 minions right now. They make that 7. Throws down the domain, or the frenzy, I should say, and Westor takes a lot of it, but he's able to throw the chains down, gets the stun up. Lex does not have the minion aggro, though, and he's not too worried about that.
Yeah, not worried right now. Lex actually going to have to back away and pick up his own health relic, so now he's got 2 very different timers to keep track of. Doesn't pressure out Westor's. I think Lex actually could have played that very differently and tried to push Westor back for his health relic rather than Lex peeling back to go for the defensive one. But Lex does hit 6 first. Westor still a little way away from that level 6. Does manage to hit.
Westor has to ult himself away as well. Unfortunate. Lex doesn't have too much mana, but he's hung onto his ultimate, hung onto his summoner spells, and he has got a lot in his pocket with this mini wave sending crashing towards the tower.
And at this point, you can see Lex pretty much out of mana. Westor has enough for about 2-3 spells to come out, so he can kind of force Lex back. Lex should just have enough for his ultimate to keep himself alive. Also has barrier to keep himself alive as well. So as soon as Westor goes in, if Lex feels like the trade is winnable for himself and actually would win him the game, just hits that exhaust, hits that barrier, and trades against Westor. The only problem with that is Westor goes instantly back to his initial position, and then you just wasted 2 summoners. So Lex has to be careful on exactly when he reads Westor's order.
Jumps in, gets some arrows. Westor's going to go for it. That is a massive burst. He's going to get some back, but a great trade for Westor.
And there you can see, Lex knows Westor isn't going to kill him, so can't afford to use his summoners. He has to hold on to them and just hope that Westor doesn't go for the all-in right after the first one. Lex does pick up the health relic, so we'll pick that up, be able to go back. Does still have 10 CS in the lead, so Westor will be slower on the recall and won't be able to make up the CS difference here, but Westor is just going to have to shove this into tower. It's a cannon wave, though, so that isn't going to happen anytime soon. So Lex will come out ahead from this little minion push trade that's going on here.
It does give Westor a little bit of an opportunity to grab some of the minions, reclaim the CS differential as he jumps forward, pushes that one in. Unfortunately, Lex is just about due to arrive, and that means he will be able to pick up a bit of this. One, maybe two, nope, not even. There goes the cannon over to Lex. Continues his lead, continues growing it. As Westor's had to back away, let's see what he does go ahead and pick up. Not quite enough for the Morellonomicon.
Yeah, still a way away from that Morellonomicon right now. You can see he does pick up a couple of health potions to go alongside the parts of the Morellos. Hex Drinker on the side of Lex is going to keep him pretty healthy here.
It's a sustained battle, that's what we're in for.
It is. I just wonder, can Westor actually burst Lex down with these items? I'm looking at it.
It's going to be hard with the Hex Drinker shield, though.
Yeah.
That's the really difficult thing. And he's going to go ahead and start trading. Not too much traded back. He even avoids some of the minion damage. And Lex will be able to return a little bit of health to himself thanks to the Grasp of the Undying, but Westor just, the threat is ever present. This guy is just so dangerous when you give him an assassin.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to read the damage that Westor has. The first distortion did about 200.
That one did a bit more.
Now he goes all in.
There's the Wolf's Frenzy. The chains are on. It's going to be stunning up, and he takes a good trade against Lex, but Lex is going to try to get a little bit more back as the Sigil of Malice flies in his face.
Oh, Lex is having to just make really tough decisions here because Lex has to basically wait for Westor to use his summoners before he can react. Then Lex uses his in response, and the cooldowns are basically the same.
Westor
no summoners yet. There's the exhaust.
Double exhaust is down. Westor, the clone's ahead of him, and he has to back away. Lex wins that one handily, and the Ignite's down.
Lex comes up so big in that trade barrier.
Lamb's Respite instantly staying alive.
And gets the health back from it. Barrier is still available for Lex, so keeping his cool, knowing his ultimate was there.
Still got barrier too.
Yeah, exactly. Has that barrier available, double Dorans, and the Hex Drinker shield was popped. So it's very difficult to kill Lex right now, but
a lot
2 out of his 3 defensive abilities are no longer available. Only that barrier remains. And at this point, Lex just stays in lane. I actually am not too sold on him going back for his health relic there. I mean, he didn't have too much to do there. And sure, it takes it away if Westor ever manages to get up there, but I kind of prefer having that available. He will get a little extra mana from it, but he wasn't suffering all that much to begin with, and he hasn't forced Westor off his own once again. I'd like to have seen Lex hold the map position and force Westor not to be able to pick up his own health relic.
Despite the mistakes, however, he does maintain this very healthy CS lead, about 7 ahead, and that means only 15 minions to go before he can finish the game off with minion style. And with Westor having to go back here, it gives Lex another chance to send these minions crashing into the turret. Westor is going to try to jump for him, but he's not going to be able to get much there. Just has to double distort his way through to clear the wave.
At this point, Westor's best bet was not to push that wave out. Westor needed that wave to push towards his turret so that Westor could somehow try and drag Lex forward. Lex actually recalled there, and that is going to give Westor this wave, so that benefits Westor. I'm a little surprised that it let Westor basically even CS. Now, if any of these die to this turret, Lex could be in trouble. Westor did miss 1 creep off this wave, though.
Yeah, Lex is going to be up here, but...
That's 1 to the turret. So that kind of evens things up.
Just barely. Sigil of Malice not going to do too much. Grasp the Undying will heal it back up. So, all said and done, there's still that 5 CS differential. When it comes to this endgame scenario, that's still giving this advantage to Lex, and Westor knows it.
Oh,
he's got to go in, but he misses the combo, taking too much damage. The clone is popped. Lex finds the right one, wants to win it with the kill, but the health relic spawns at exactly the right moment. Nonetheless, Lex is so close to finishing this game. He's got the minions to do it. CS victory at 10 minutes, 50 seconds.
Yeah, that was Lex.
Forward champion, Kasing. Onto this one. He does, of course, have the barrier and the exhaust. He's going very defensive here. Ziv has traded the barrier out for Ignite. See if that works out for him.
Yeah, I'm wondering, Kasing actually is not quite good. Yeah, Kasing can get the ward here if he pushes up. Ziv is not going to contest it. But at this point, you know, Kasing isn't going to drop the ward either. So just a waiting game here at the beginning. No biscuits for Ziv, though. not going for the extra sustain that we've seen you hit the analyst. Let's talk about it earlier after our first set of 1 versus 1s. Going for that 6-6-18. Get Feast, get the extra biscuits, and then get Grasp of the Undying.
Yeah, it's a slight advantage, but I feel like, well, they probably both go for Grasp of the Undying here. It makes perfect sense, since they're just going to be trading a lot of auto attacks back and forth. Because Sing, hanging out in this brush, doesn't manage to land the Piercing Light on early to Ziv, so it's just going to be a bit of a farm fest for the moment.
Ziv does have Grasp of the Undying, as does Kasing. You are correct. Again, that is the blue indicator that is around the hands. So that is how you denote that it is active on both champions. Again, 4 seconds in combat, that can be built up by attacking minions.
You know, up until that moment, that was really like a gentleman's agreement. They hadn't really traded that much autos back and forth, and Ziv was only able just to get that 1 shot out, but Kasing's healed most of the back up already.
Yeah, and Kasing does have the push on as well, so he is going to hit level 2 early. Will he be able to pressure it out? And, I would expect he would. So much of bot lane is getting level 2 and then using it.
Oh,
in he
dash
goes.
Forward.
Gets a double tap. Ziv does trade back with the Grasp of the Undying, so it's a fairly even trade so
You get the sense that they're just kind of feeling it out for a moment. Obviously, these aren't champions that they're both going to be extremely used to in their normal level of play. Well, I say that, but then there's
I was going to say, they're probably used to playing
oh,
against
there's the vault, though. There we go. Kasing's going to get ignited, though, as he relentlessly retreats. Ziv takes a big win on that trade, but Kasing wins in style points.
He does, but he's now just been pushed off and only has like 300 health to Ziv's 600-700. So at this point, Ziv pretty much has this game in full control. Level 3 means Ziv has his exhaust available, could go all in, but double summon is still up for Kasing.
He's taking a few shots off the minions, though, so it wasn't a total loss for Kasing, but he's going to be not quite zoned off. He gets the heal, but he gets vaulted, dodges the blind, and he's able to trade back another shot. Art Blaze going, doesn't get the double tap. He dashes forward. Now he gets the double tap. 1 more shot, and that will mean Ziv goes back for the health. Still Kasing on the lower end of it.
Oh, and he tanked so many minions there as he went past the minion wave. Ziv actually coming out way ahead on that little exchange. Still the summoner down, though. That is the one thing you've got to keep a track of, because the summoner advantage pretty much is the difference between a 1 all-in in the early game. But Ziv right now does have about a 200 health lead. Is up by a wave and a minion, so
that's funny though.
Is up against it.
Stubbornly not gone back in this one. It's a bit early for him too, but when you take so much damage early, what can you do? He will manage to level up. He's still getting a bit of sustain off the Grasp of the Undying. Piercing Light dodged out from Ziv, but there's a big wave of minions heading towards that tower, and the blind dodged again. So Kasing is getting a feel for the champion.
But it's costing him mana every single time. Look at Kasing's mana pool is
a lot lower than Ziv's.
Dropping pretty low. You can actually see that both of these players are perhaps not the most experienced in facing off each other, because you can Kasing is taking a lot of damage just from Ziv's trades, and Ziv isn't exactly dodging the piercing light all that often. So it's a little bit of a sloppy start to this matchup. A lot of damage traded back and forth, and Kasing is the first to recall.
I mean, this is just such a big advantage for Ziv, though. Despite the fact that he's made some of those mistakes as well, he's got a pretty solid lead. These minions are going to tank the tower, and they should pretty much go down by the time Kasing's able to arrive, at least 2 of them. And that's going to be a 3rd. He's going to get a grand total of 1 CS off of that.
He got it, Pyro. He got the 1. It's
Word?
Oh, and he missed that one.
Oh,
so
no,
he doesn't
okay.
make up for it. Okay, well, I mean,
double
this is why
though.
supports have Relic Shield, okay? Like, that's that's why that item exists. Support's not the best at last hitting, but
I mean, he's normally support. He could have built that. Oh, blinded. Oh, there's the vault. Ziv trying to bait him under tower. Not quite enough. And he does actually trade very effectively as a blind. Just within range, he was still able to make the shot.
Yeah, just able to. Of course, that vault will mark Kasing, so is able to just throw out that empowered auto attack after. But Kasing's trading pretty effectively well. And honestly, at this point, the extra damage that Ziv has does have a pickaxe at this point. Not an item that you really see all that often. The build path's out of pickaxe. This now limits Ziv on where he can kind of go from here. It tends to be big ticket items that come out of pickaxe rather than longswords.
Ziv's going for the gold here, but it's Kasing that goes and dashes in. Double exhaust is down. There's the vault up, forcing the barrier. Ziv is low, and that's it. Kasing finishes it off in 5 minutes.
All on the side.
Just comes down to these 2 players, 1 lane, 1 abyss, and we are starting off.
Ooh, potion. Corrupting potion on Misfortune. I don't know how I feel about that. It's just, you're trying to play a sustain game, but you pick Misfortune.
Yeah, I mean, the passive is already a disadvantage. You can't use it more than once effectively. You can't switch targets like that.
But
well, on minions, I suppose.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, okay, you got if you get lucky double ups, you have enough damage, I guess, to kind of battle against Illusion. But that relies on double lift being in the right spot for a double up to like kill the minion and bounce on him. And I would really have figured double lift has probably spammed a little bit of misfortune recently too. Just from how good she is right now.
I mean, he's taking the forward position, speaking of double lift, so it's going to be hard for PYL to really get in here, and double lift is just going to go ahead and start off with the Piercing Light. Makes it rain really quickly, though. Double lift actually does not trade really any better than even right there.
No, double lift, but he does have the Grasp of the Undying. We'll just trade it back. Look at this damage.
There we go. There's the double tap.
And like, even though PYL has the potion, which he hasn't chugged yet, by the way, is going to wait until he can start outputting damage, but I mean, Make It Rain, it just seems to be an odd choice right now. If you're not instantly pushing up to the rush to get the control of the minion wave to start, Make It Rain is not going to deal enough damage really to counter push against the Piercing Light double tap combo. The double lift is just spamming out onto the minion wave.
Every time he steps up, he's taking more damage. This game could be over so quickly. PYL, that's a lot of damage, and he's going to have to start chugging those potions, but double lift knows he's got him on the ropes.
Yeah, double lift knows that if you can get PYL just around 100 health, he should have the damage. Because there is no exhaust, there is a barrier on PYL, which will pretty much go toe-to-toe with that Ignite plus the double tap passive from double lift. So if you can chunk PYL a little bit lower, another 150 health off PYL, and he should be able to all-in him, but that is still difficult to do as PYL is hugging his turret.
Both of them rocking that Ignite too, so when you see the all-ins coming, you will know that it's about to happen. Double lift playing close to the Hell Shrine, trying to do his best to deny it when it does come up. PYL down a level, down half his health bar. A big wave of minions comes in. Double lift can take that health at his leisure at this point, and he just continues to try and punish PYL for his early mistakes.
And I like it. Double lift doesn't instantly go for the health relic. PYL's dropping low.
Very low, pops the barrier. Double lift's gonna go back. He knows the summoner spell is burned, but he doesn't want to get
Here we go.
trouble. Exhaust is down. One more shot. The Poros go flying, and Lift comes up with the win.
Honestly, I think Shuriken that's gonna come out. Yeah. We'll see though. I've been
Ninja
proved wrong before.
Though, there's a cool movie in here somewhere.
I've been proved wrong before on these 1v1s. I am not above being proved wrong again. Exhaust Ignite for both players. Reckless once again. Or, well, again, not opting, as one of our players, not opting for the biscuits. So not going 6-6-12, 18.
Score doing that himself. So a little bit forward vision. Took one shot. His Score saw it just in nick of time. And those very cool emotes coming out to start this one off. Having a good time here. Reckless is a bit more animated, though.
He is. I mean, at this point, he wishes he could throw up the Worlds Fnatic one. Just to be like, look, we got pretty far in Worlds this year. We got it. But, you know, at this point, you mentioned the cannon that came out at Worlds was pretty impressive. I don't think he's going to get to the point where he can get a Runan's Hurricane.
There's a lot of else he has, too.
Oh, see, look, Reckless just taking that Piercing Light to start. And he can't actually push the wave super fast because you don't want to Lightning Rush into it when you actually have that. He is a little behind, like one auto behind on this push, but that will even itself up.
Yeah. Score playing pretty far forward, very aggressive. See if he can maybe deny a minion. It's so hard to do, but it's possible. It looks like it's going to happen here. Reckless has to back away from the Piercing Light. Still on the level 1s, though. It's very, very early to start this one off, and, you know, it's all about building those slow little advantages. It's not taking early deaths. Reckless, big shot there, though. Grasp the Undying will give him a little bit back. However, Score is on the offensive.
So it's Grasp the Undying for Score. I'm yet to see Grasp proc for... Ah, there it is, for Reckless. Okay, you haven't actually been in combat for 4 seconds, so...
Yeah.
I was like...
That's not a good sign, by the way.
I was like, Reckless, what have you taken here? Apart from a lot of damage. That's all he's taken so far. I was glad it wasn't like Underlords at this point.
Like
Reckless, oh, he's...
Double tap, gets the exhaust, double exhaust is down. They are starting this one early. Ignite for Score. He wants to finish this up. Can he do it? The stun! The outplay! The Poros go flying! And Reckless... Not being distracted, we have a Mecha Urgot as well.
The question is, has Baby learned how to train it?
We'll have to hope, otherwise he's not going to have much of a chance this game.
Is it going to end up that Baby gets 8?
Could be starting off. Doesn't land the Acid Hunter, but he throws down the early ward there. It starts off with the Corrupting Potion too, worth noting. Won't have as much early damage. And Baby just starts the spam off nice and heavy.
Seems like he has trained it, just to spam.
Yes.
That's a pretty quick dragon. That's a pretty funny animation, I'm not going to lie.
There's a lot of reasons why this is the best Tristana's game.
There are a lot of reasons.
Oh, he's even on Team Fire too, that's perfect.
It is perfect. It's good. I like it.
It's thematically appropriate. I approve.
Basically role-playing.
So Koro's going to go ahead and take a very forward position on this one, just
Yep.
trying to soften up the minions before he starts. Looks like his plan might be to try and counter-push after all.
Again, is all just from having the ability to control that front push. Koro just pushes up, gets the ward down, gets the first auto attack on the minions because he knows Baby can't push up for it.
Yeah.
And
He's going to have to play this really close to the to the rushes though, because he just can't afford to trade.
the thing is, look at Baby. His passive on having taken E means he's just constantly pushing the wave. And even though Koro got the first auto attacks off, Baby actually equalizes and then puts the push in his favor to get himself closer to that level 2 mark. So it's going to happen roughly the same time. Yeah, Acid Hunter didn't get the CS, doesn't matter. Koro will get the level from it anyway. So what it means is it mitigates the opening first few auto attacks from Koro.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a tough one for Koro because his win condition really here is to just try and kite and out-poke the Tristana. But if he gets too close to his minions, the explosive shot passage is just going to make it very, very difficult for him to trade effectively.
Oh yeah, it really will.
And Baby's got control of the brush now.
So that's one auto onto the explosive charge. And even then, you can see how much damage it does. If that gets 2-3 autos, like, man, Koro is going to be in so much trouble. Again, it's a medium range AD carry into I guess, similarly ranged to start the game, but Trist is more level she gets, just going to get that extra range. It's going to outrange Urgot. However, Urgot does manage to pick up that health pack. And again, you can see the difference between the players that are prepared and the players that aren't too sure on the 1v1 map, just on when the relic spawns, just on when he can force people back.
Tends to be the AD carries, too. Go figure on that one. Baby is going to be able to dodge away from the Noxian Corrosive Charge. Koro just hasn't been able to land too much damage here. He's holding strong, and he's only down about 3 CS, but Baby just seems way more comfortable here.
Yeah, he does. It's looking like a pretty solid start here. Koro does read the turret damage under tower there. That is actually such a significant factor for a lot of these AD carries.
Oh, there we go. Manages to land the combo, but unfortunately it's just in time. That
no,
is a little bit
Oh,
more.
gets it.
Another
Good.
shot. Actually, that's the combo he's looking for. And now he can continue to zone. However, don't get too close. Careful, careful. The explosive charge hurts more than you think.
That one didn't hurt too much. Koro had
Only one
managed
shot.
to, get a little bit more resistance before that one exploded. But Koro right now has doesn't have the CS lead, but does have the presence lead right now. Has his ward available, so as soon as he can kind of edge over to that side of the bush, means he can just drop the ward. But Baby does get the first auto, second
He's
auto.
gonna jump in. He wants to go all for it now. Exhaust is down. Baby's jumping. He's looking for it. Barrier is popped. He steals away the health pack.
Ooh,
And he takes a turret shot stray, though. This is getting dangerous for the Dragon Trainer.
Oh.
And Koro's healing up. Forgot all about that one.
Oh, he
Just a
got
second.
it!
He's going to be able to land it. Scum eliminated. And Koro
Like, okay, nobody's gone full offense.
well,
interesting.
we're seeing some defense here as we start up on the Abyss. Froggen decked out. Since we're in the US, he's going red, white, and blue. But he's got himself a Doran shield.
He has. He's also started, he does have AP, so he is not going AD LeBlanc. Definitely not going AD LeBlanc. AD Anivia. First snowball has missed. Icicle misses.
Second
That's
snowball?
a 0% skill shot rate so far. All Faker's got to do is hit 1 Q and he wins.
Okay.
0%.
Well, so far it's pretty much a snow day for these two, but they're not hitting anything with those snowballs.
Is it just me, or does Froggen's model look ever so slightly bigger?
Yeah, I think it might be. Oh, it's a sweet dance. Someone tell Azir.
Oh,
it's coming.
Froggen.
Oh, he's done.
He's
First
no
shot from
follow-up,
Faker,
though.
and he's going to get it
he
right
trades
off
it
back.
and gets minion damage.
This is a true mirror right
and
now.
gets minion damage from that. So Froggen will be pretty happy with that. That's basically the first shot fired. At this point, it's this one's going to be a long one, guys. Get in.
Yeah, strap in.
for
This
the
is
long
going to be
haul.
a very...
No ignites, because of course you've got the egg. So
It's kind of
we actually have to go through 2 lives here.
If we get double egg here... Uh-oh, another stun. Faker. The count's up to 2 for Froggen right now. This is his court.
So is the level counter as well. So
True.
Froggen now does have access to his E, I would imagine. Literally no point in skilling W in this matchup.
I mean, I could be in trouble here if Faker loses this one because I picked him to win the whole thing.
Yeah, you could be in trouble. I mean,
snowball lands though.
it does. You're not going to go in on that. You take too much minion damage.
Faker has a mana advantage. It's very, very slight at this point, but he could definitely get off a larger spell rotation. I guess he's only got 2 spells available, but he's got another stun up on Froggen.
Doesn't have the vision though. Can't follow up for the Ice Shard for that extra damage. This is riveting.
It's like a good book. You just wait for the excitement to start happening.
There it is.
Mechanics.
There we go.
Oh, man.
It's just so, like, literally the only time anything happens is when Q lands. It's great.
Just for anyone who's not familiar with Anivia, this is a perfect tutorial.
Kind of.
For both.
If you want to play against another Anivia. There's going to be like...
no, this is how you play against
there's
anybody.
There's going to be like the other Anivia purists in the world that aren't named Froggen that are like loving this already. It's like, so many Qs landing. It's great. I want to see like...
Missing. Oh, wait a minute. There's a lot of auto attack trading here. There's the Ice Shard. Froggen does... So he does get Grasp of the Undying. He gets a little bit back.
Okay.
Faker rocks the same thing. But he's also taken a bite out of his... Well, not Biscuit, Potion. And the Ice Shard... That Ice Ball did not manage to get the stun off, but he did get a little bit more damage. Faker's still trading back and forth a little better. And he's got a level advantage now until Froggen equalizes.
Yeah, Froggen does equalize that one. And now Faker's going to try and push forward through the minion wave. But it's an even game right now. Froggen is... a couple of CS up. It's not really going to matter too much. I wonder whether either of these are going to go tier. Now, that sounds like a really stupid thing, but we actually saw it a good few times at IWCA.
Just get
I was a little confused by it at first, because I'm like, well, you're never going to get to a tier item, so it's basically just giving you the extra of max mana.
Hear me out here.
Okay, I'm here.
Gentleman's agreement. They sit at 99 CS, and they only win by killing each other.
I don't see that.
And then they get full builds.
I don't see that happening, because at that point, that is when you scumbag. You're like, ha! Win conditions. Get that last CS. Got it. This is why I'm not in these 1v1s. I'm not gentlemanly like that. I'm like, I'm going to win this if I can.
A little bit of farming. There's the snowball. Froggen's not going to go in on that one, though. He does have a little bit of health disadvantage. Ice Shard's going to come in and take another bite out of his health bar, but still more sustained thanks to the Grasp of the Undying.
So, right now, Faker has 3 points in
Got the
his
stun.
team.
Oh, Froggen dodges. He trades well on that one.
Have they both got 3 points in E? That is what I'm wondering. I would imagine so. At this point, level 5, no reason for points in W.
Yeah.
You can see Faker's right now.
Looks like.
I'm assuming Froggen has exactly the same thing.
Clearly, this is the optimal build.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really too many ways of building Anivia this early onset that's all that different, but
yeah.
Faker wants to push back up onto Froggen, but...
Now, what I really want to see is when people just start ice walling each other.
It literally is the least useful ability in this matchup. When you have Snowball and
It is,
Flash,
but they got to take it eventually.
yeah, eventually you have to.
They have to actually skill it at some point. Not next level, but soon.
Soon TM. At this point, Froggen is just keeping the push going. He's
but
CS
Faker goes in on this one, and he forces
the
a flash.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Territory marked. Oh,
And
goes in,
now has-
and he's gonna maybe get an egg out of this one, but can he scramble him up for breakfast? I don't think he's got the damage.
But this is all Faker needs right now. All he has to do is be able to recall safely, and he's already got the egg, and if he can make the same kind of play happen again, he should be fine. Faker manages to sidestep, catches Froggen again.
Stun, looking
no
for
mana though.
Dying. That is a really low health Faker, but he keeps on going.
Use
just
the
trying
mark.
to push him back. Oh,
he gets
boy.
it. True damage for the follow-up.
Froggen's not going to go for it.
There's too much mana for Faker.
Froggen is not going to go in on that.
This is good.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, that is... did manage to get it, but can't quite follow up.
Just on the minion. Faker's still going to go for it. But he's playing a dangerous game here. He's got the egg available, that's true. But he's trusting that Froggen just can't even do enough to get him in that form.
It's all about that little bit of mana that is left on Froggen. If Faker feels like it's enough for the spell rotation to come out, he's not going to go aggressive. Faker, remember, does still have his egg. Froggen does not. So that is another thing to keep in the mix.
Froggen's going to have to go ahead and back here, but he should have a little bit of gold banked up. Let's see what he does decide to build. Faker can push these minions into the turret and go home with a CS, well, not advantage, but at least even the gap a little bit.
So, Froggen instantly picks up the Catalyst. Is looking for the stacking game. I mean...
He's going for the long con.
Okay, both of them go for the Catalyst. The difference is the second Doran's Ring. We'll see how that plays out. A little bit more AP, a little bit more mana regen, and that does seem to be the big difference between Froggen and Faker right now, is that Faker's just had a little bit more mana in these last few trades.
Yeah, that pretty much has been it. Froggen still maintains the CS differential, and he's building it up a little bit more. It's about 8 at this point. Faker, however, has shown that if he gets a chance, he will go in. But it's Froggen who jumps in this time. The stun's on Faker. A good trade for Froggen. Grasp the Undying, heals them both up a bit, but he throws on his own ultimate. Faker's about to get egged, but not quite, as he wings it over to the health and waits just a second.
However, Faker now going to be able to collect a big set of minions in front of him, or would be able to if the last hitting mechanic was the same as on Summoner's Rift. Manages to get all of the range creeps. Now we'll back off again, so this is Froggen's opportunity to extend the CS lead, but it is at the cost of the health. Froggen is going to be on this kind of 3/4, 2/3 of his health as Faker comes back unless he recalls right now, and that's what Froggen's going to do. This wave should just about all die to this turret.
This is a pretty big advantage for Froggen.
Yeah, it is.
He's got 9.
Oh,
okay, so Faker gets it.
That's
not so bad.
Pretty good timing from Faker, knowing he could get the Q just to get that last hit on the minion. So half the wave died, and now Faker is able to kind of just...
he's going to try to freeze.
Try and freeze. I like it. I like it at this point. Faker trying to drag Froggen forward. Null Magic Mantle onto Froggen, though, so he's going for that slightly more defensive build while ahead on CS. That is... Honestly, that is normally the way to win.
There's the ice. That's what I'm talking about. The wall right there makes Faker take a little bit more damage on the back half of that.
Yeah, it is nice at this point that you just can force them to stay within your ult and make sure you get that ice shard off. But in the early game, it wasn't really going to offer too much. They're going to trade it away now.
And more Faker's taking it worse, though. Turns his own ulti off as the ice walls are melting, but an auto attack will heal him up just a little bit. About on par with Froggen, who's going to be sending a few more minions Faker's way, and he's got that 11 CS differential. Going to be evened up just a bit, but Froggen could be on par to win this in CS.
Yeah, looks like it for now. Faker, however, no potions left. Froggen does have some in his inventory. Froggen...
actually snowball, though.
Faker should not go in on this, though. You can see that Froggen already playing that defensive zone of the area there. Faker now pushes up. Froggen just used a lot of his mana just to push that wave back in towards Faker. So just trying to keep Faker on the turret. Froggen, that is a big, big misplay to get caught by that, but Faker used a lot of his mana on that trade. Does get a lot of Froggen's health off.
He's got the vision. Knows that Froggen was hiding out in that brush, but Faker had already leveled up. He got a little bit extra.
The key thing about that little trade, though, is Faker prevented Froggen from actually extending the CS lead. It's now down to 3 CS.
He can even it up here.
Yeah, and Faker, with this kind of position on the minion wave, it now forces Froggen to kind of come forward. I like the attempt at the wall there. Froggen will be able to pick up this CS.
But it's just about
uses
dead
so
even.
much mana for it, though.
I mean, this could really go either way. We could be down to, like, they're fighting for the last minion.
It's going to be like whose Snowstorm is going to be able to deal more damage than the
Clearly no one's going to die.
Oh, which point? Faker's will...
Faker's going in! He takes a lot of damage, though, and he's going to try to turn for the help, but Froggen's going to flash! Faker is going to maybe get egged. Not quite, not today. But Froggen is just on the offensive, and he can keep pushing forward. Once again, builds up the CS lead.
And Faker's zoned away from the minions, and we're now so close that I don't think Faker can actually recall here. With no mana, Froggen, all he's got to do is prevent the recall, and he knows that as long as he controls the health relics, he should be fine. Doesn't matter about the egg at this point, because it's all about CS.
Summoner spells, the flashes have been burned. And now it's going to be, if Faker can just go in, get a little extra damage, he may be able to turn it around, but the egg's back up. The wall's going to stop him. Auto won't be enough, but it's still 90 CS to 81. He's got to go in. Come on, Froggen. No, he's a level up. The Catalyst.
It's not even that. It's not worth for him to go into the turret, because even though he has egg, he'd only trade egg for egg, and then the turret would aggro. So he cannot go aggressive. Faker wants to go. There's the egg on Froggen. Faker uses this to recall.
He's got to do it. Well, he can take some time to start farming up a little bit as the egg comes back up. But yes, he's going to be in so much trouble because Froggen has got only 10 minutes to go. Froggen's going to start trying to chase, though. The snowball went out, but it was on Faker's, and he just gets trolled a little bit by the ice wall.
Froggen's was fairly low on mana here. Oh my... No, Faker, you can't recall here. There's a minion wave coming. Faker just loses the game.
It's
Faker literally just lost the game on that recall.
Easy
this is
peasy.
It. Froggen's
He's going to watch it from the fountain.
Probably wouldn't have replied to you. I'd just be like, no.
Yeah, but that's what you do anyways.
Yeah, normally. But, you know, I like it. Doran's Shield Volibear going for the completely no damage, no ability to farm champion. So the one thing he will have is, for sustain, his passive will kick in. That'll be great once he takes enough damage for that. So, you know, silver linings, looking for things that can keep Amazing in this matchup a little bit longer.
I mean, he didn't get that name for nothing. Maybe he'll pull something out to surprise us, but for now, it's a non-aggression pact between these two. Before the minions hit the murder bridge. Afro's calling him out, though. Man versus bear. Fight.
TSM versus CLG, basically.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, one. You know.
Hey, man, he didn't make semifinals at Worlds on TSM.
Yeah. Well, at this point, you know, Amazing's had a pretty good year, actually. Let's see if he can top it off with a win against Aframu here.
I think maybe he's just kind of resting on his laurels here and just enjoying the time.
This is a pretty tough matchup, I'm not going to lie.
Well, you know, sometimes you like the handicap if you can take it.
At this point, Amazing's just like, what minions are close to my bush that I can just run out and take? Range minions, probably not going to happen.
He's doing a good job of utilizing the bush, but it's going to be so hard for him to farm against Afro here. And the moment those axes start to spin.
The reason he can utilize this bush, is Amazing does manage to clear multiple minions with that, is the fact that Aframu used his ward on the wrong bush. I mean, generally you assume that you're going to be able to control your own bush, so you actually used it on the enemy bush.
As he got his level 2, got that flip up into the minions, but stand aside, says Afro, as the Ignite is burning his health bar down. Afro's going to get a little bit more back for himself, thanks to that Grasp of the Undying.
There's the passive. Amazing. There we go.
He's right back up.
Thing is, Aframu has Exhaust, has Ignite. Pretty much Amazing. No passive now means that next time Aframu, when he hits 3, he's probably just going to go all in. Probably he'll have...
He's still hanging on to the Exhaust, though, so think that he might get a little bit of a chance.
Yeah, but Afro's going to pick up Stand Aside at level 3, and Amazing is not going to be able to get away. So even if he blows the Exhaust, which he'll have to do early, Aframu then just continues to chase once Exhaust is timed out and just basically goes all in. And you can see Amazing realizes this, will back away, doesn't really want to get aggressive upon this early on.
Aframu's also a little bit lower on the health bar. Amazing can sneak in there and maybe get a quick flip. He might be able to do a little bit more sustained damage, but spotted, kind of hard to hide a bear in the brush.
It is. Don't go into the long grass. That is pretty much what you can say for that one. But Aframu is getting them juggle mechanics on. He's picking up them axes. Amazing, not picking up the farm. 10 CS behind right now.
This is not looking good for him early on. He's forced under tower too. If he wants to check too close, I mean, he's got a bit of AoE damage. He can clear a bit.
Under tower is actually not too bad for him.
Oh,
he wants to go in.
Flippy, Exhaust is down.
He
get a tower shot. This might make all the difference in the world as Aframu's speeding himself away, but maybe not. Ignite's taking Grasp of the Undying, and Aframu does it in style. I think that's what's going to happen, but you know, this is going to be an interesting thought experiment. See how it pans out.
It's also cleanse for Damashka, but flash for Ollie. Ollie can flash in with the ultimate. Oh, Ollie! Yeah, this is the danger of going.
But if he wants to do that, why wouldn't he have just gone like Annie or something?
Ollie throws up the Team Fire logo for you with just about 2 range out from your auto attacks. But this is our last 1 versus 1.
Likes to live dangerously.
First time we're seeing Morg here.
Yeah.
Corrupting Potion as well.
It is an interesting start. Well, to be fair, I mean, if we anticipate what he's trying to do and just sustain the lane, continuously farm it out with the Tormented Soil, this makes sense.
Yeah, I really want to watch this level 1 to see exactly level 1, as if this is Summoner's Rift.
Well, you know, we can get like the level 2, level 3 as well.
But like, look at the damage that Damashka is not taking from Tormented Soil at level 1.
All of it, you mean?
Now he has the push because he's already 2 minions up, and now Damashka just chains the Piercing Light onto the 3 of them, gets the whole wave, and now Ollie is not going to be able to match that level 2. I think the tower is probably going to kill the last minion right as the wave hits, so he should be okay, but the Damashka continues the damage down onto that front row of minions.
Yeah. Ollie's starting to chase a little bit. He actually does trade decently with the auto attacks, but Damashka's always going to be able to do a little bit better than that. Dashes forward, relentless pursuit of level 2. Ollie's zoned off.
Yeah, Ollie doesn't have Dark Binding available yet. That is the one thing that Damashka now has to be aware of, is if he steps out from beside the minion wave, he is just going to get bound up, and then Ollie will be able to return some damage, but not if he throws it into the minions. That's going to waste a lot of mana if that keeps happening.
Double tap, dashes over. He knows he's got the time to do it. However, the minion aggro is starting to get a little strong for Damashka. Doesn't trade effectively there.
Yeah, not an effective trade at all. And you know, Damashka with the Grasp of the Undying is going to be happy to just take these trades because Ollie is not going to have the sustain. The Corrupting Potion has no charges left. So pretty much done with that first buy on the potion. Damashka is lower on the health, though.
He's still got his biscuit, though. That's
Yeah.
the other scary thing about this. And now if Damashka can go forward, he's going to look for it. Ollie, no! He's able to secure it. And he gets Damashka dark bound for his trouble, too.
Yeah, you can see, though, Damashka and Ollie right now trading just back and forth on the damage. Ollie is really bound by his mana. That is one of the biggest problems now. He's completely out, so cannot really answer this. Look at it, only 9 CS to the 22 now of Damashka. Damashka seems to have been training with Kira on this 1 versus 1 scenario. Make sure they get as many players into the second round as they can. They already have 2 for the CIS team.
Well, if it'd be a third one off this one, I mean, very good showing for the CIS so far at the 1v1 tournament. Been impressed.
It would be. It would be a very, very good showing. I think they may actually have more players through than any other region. I'd have to double check that.
Well, and you know, it's almost guaranteed because we've got two Koreans going up against each other tomorrow, obviously.
Yeah.
This is very impressive.
Yeah, I think, is it Korea that would have them 3 players through? Yeah. I actually think
Actually,
they only have
no,
2.
they only have 2. It's just Prey and Mad Life because Faker got beat.
How about LPL? Uzi's through?
Koros through,
Koros
and
through.
Rookie.
Okay, so LPL do
has
have 3 on a technicality of Uzi getting the bye, but it's okay.
Yes.
It's fine. You know, it's
Yeah, you know, it's random. It's okay.
yeah, it's all good.
Hashtag definitely not random.
So 28 CS to 18 now. Now we're seeing Ollie with a little bit of AP
Yeah.
from that Doran's ring.
And he's able to get a bit back because that was free farm right now. But Damashka still has this massive CS lead. He bought himself another Doran's Blade because that wasn't enough swords. He got a long sword as well. Still sitting on the biscuit. He's got the sustain. Once he hits 6, Ollie's got to watch out for a face full of culling.
Yeah, as a reminder on this specific iteration of Howling Abyss is not the same as the ARAM map quite. You are limited to 2 Doran's items. Look at this trade from Damashka.
Yeah.
Right around the back of the minion.
Dodges everything. He keeps going. He wants to try and end this right now. Relentless Pursuit, the double tap, not enough damage. If he had the culling, he might have pulled it off.
And really importantly, the reason Damashka put himself in that position is he was forcing the flash from Ollie. He knows that Ollie cannot walk away because he'll just take too many autos, so he has to force him to walk a little bit and then flash as far as possible rather than just allowing him to walk backwards. So Damashka now has both of his summoners still available, still has the cleanse and the exhaust, and the flash is now not available for Morgana. She cannot engage at 6 without Damashka making a big, big mistake.
Well, even a big mistake might not be the end for Damashka here. He has got so much going for him, and a whopping 18 CS differential. He takes the Dark Binding, doesn't even use the cleanse. That's how confident he is that he is completely safe.
Yeah, he's got Biscuits, got Grasp of the Undying, has the double Dorans as well, so he knows he's fine. Health Relic, I believe, is due back up just underneath him in a couple of seconds.
He's got culling.
So at this point, Damashka is trying to beat Ollie to his own, but forces Ollie to actually take that at full health. So all it's going to do is give him a little bit of mana back.
Not really able to push into him, but again, he's on track to easily win this on CS, and Ollie just doesn't seem to have a game plan going here beyond trying to continuously farm this one out. Culling comes out, Damashka takes a lot of damage, the Soul Shackles are on, but he relentlessly retreats.
Yeah, literally just 1 E gets him away from that. Doesn't have to use anything else, doesn't let it bind and then uses Cleanse to get out, just completely dodges his way away. Rejuvenation Bead has come out for Ollie as well. That is not going to do a lot. These fights, or at least the trades from Damashka, are too frequent that a Rejuvenation Bead is not doing enough. Realistically, it's giving him a little bit of health regen, but rather than reducing the amount of damage done, Ollie is just continuously taking damage again and again and again, and it just won't make up for that kind of harassment.
Yeah, I mean, the farm is starting to get just almost too easy for Damashka here. Wards down. He's not even going to try to finish farming this up. He's just going to buy even more time for the next waves to start arriving. Ollie's going to have to back just because he's half on his mana.
Yeah, and you know, this is just Damashka knowing what he has to do in this situation. Again, all he's got to do, play slightly defensively with the Null Magic Mantle, looking for the Hex Drinker, then just out farm. At this point, he's managed to manipulate the wave by keeping those creeps alive, that it's now continuing to push in towards him. He won't use any spells here, and is just going to farm the wave out. It is ever so slightly pushing still in towards Damashka. Did, however, auto, so he has to kind of answer the Tormented Soil, otherwise it will push the wave back into Ollie's favor.
More damage pushed on Ollie, who has to take his health relic once again, but huge CS lead continues here. Ollie just cannot get in to do much more than send out a singular spell, just using the Tormented Soil, and every time he gets any closer than that, Damashka's going to punish him.
And it doesn't have enough AP to do a considerable amount more other than try and make the wave bounce. That's really all it's doing right now.
That's got to sting. It is such a huge CS lead here. And there's the Coleman.
Oh,
Ollie
he
takes
so
half of
many
it.
shots.
The minions keep on blocking. They get fired down even further. There we go. It's very close. If he had not get bound up there, he might have been able to take an even bigger bite out of his health bar. But Ollie is just running out of options fast.
I mean, the CIS team really have put a lot of focus on this 1v1 tournament.
This is their event, man.
I mean, it brought them to the dance here at 4-star. And Damashka certainly looks confident in this kind of matchup. Very confident, throws out the Team Ice banner again.
He really has been using that quite a lot. But 26 CS, he's got that lead. He's never been in any real danger. The closest he's come when he dashed point blank into Ollie and he got a face full of Dark Binding, but really hasn't been too much of a problem for him. Ollie's got a little bit of a health advantage now. He's just going to try to force him off with a few autos, but they just don't do enough. Dark Binding is going to hit. No cleanse still. Ollie's going in. Exhaust is on. He's going to go ahead and cleanse the chains.
Yeah, there's the double summoners. We'll completely reduce what Ollie was trying to do there. But that was a good amount of damage.
Oh! Damashka is so low, but Ollie can't go in.
Oh, the Tormented Soil had already been used. Oh, that's so painful. That actually would have been it from Ollie. One misplay out of Damashka. It's not enough to turn the matchup around, unfortunately, for Ollie, as now Damashka was able to back and has picked up the Hex Drinker as well. No potions with it. I believe he's waiting. Actually goes Vamp Scepter. So we'll have that little bit extra damage and have the lifesteal coming from it. Ollie on the other side, still just under 20 CS down in this matchup. He has to somehow go all in, but he's gone the defensive route, picking up the Seeker's Arm Guard.
Yeah.
It's not going to help him. He needs to stack. It's not really going to come up. Yes, it means he'll take less damage, but Damashka won't be looking for an all-in now.
No, he doesn't need to anymore. He only needs 17 CS, but if he gets an opening, he might just do it. Goes on forward. He's standing in the soil. He doesn't care at all. Ollie takes a ton of damage off the back of the culling. Minions keep on falling down. Damashka knows he's got this one in the bag. It's all about cashing it in at the bank.
However, one binding now that cleanses down means flash into the Morgana ultimate for the Soul Shackles and the Tormented Soil to follow up. So if Ollie can manage to land a binding, there is still a chance. There is still one last hope for him. We're on 91 CS. Within the next wave and a half, he has to hit a Dark Binding and go all in. He's on a ward. Damashka, ooh, playing it a little bit risky, but knew he had the E.
Close to the vest there. Damashka returns fire, and Ollie is still forced back. Has to wait for the Dark Binding to come back off cooldown, but he is running out of options. 3 CS is all that separates Damashka for another CIS win for Team Ice. Ollie is going for it. The back's going. He's playing with them. He didn't send it out, didn't have the confidence, and that might be the end.
Yeah, I think that actually is it now, because what happens next is Ollie flash ults onto Damashka, and Damashka just focuses the minions. I don't think Ollie has enough damage without Ignite. Here's the flash into the ult.
He's gonna manage to land the chains, however, but does he have any return fire damage? Tormented Soil's down. Ollie's tanking minion damage as well. The Hex Drinker pops. He just needs 1, 2, 3. That's all it's gonna be, and the Poros pop. Another win.